Laxmi Narayan Tripathi ji. We are honored to have her here today amongst us. Jai Shri Krishna. Before I start, because Laxmi ji is a Mahamandaleshwar, I would like to start with a shlok. Om Namah Pranavarthaya Shuddha Jnanaika Murtaye Nirmalaya Prashantaya Shri Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. From our hearts, from our souls, from every cell of our body, we welcome you, ma'am, to the campus of Galgotias University. Thank you so much for taking out time and being with us today. The inspiration behind this event are many incidents which I see in daily life. But one thing which always troubles me is, whenever I cross the red light, I see some people asking for money. Such beautiful people, maybe intelligent. But then I think to myself, is this the way the society should have grown? Is this the way the society will be in the future? Is this what we are going to hand over to our children in the future? और तब मन में एक भाव उठता है कि जो पूजनीय था, जो वंदनीय था, उसको हमने निंदनीय बना दिया। समाज की इतनी दुर्गति, और उस दुर्गति से लड़ते हुए आज एक इंसान हमारे बीच बैठे हैं जो फिर से हमारे मन में वो जोत जगाने आए हैं। वसुधैव कुटुंबकम, ये एक परिवार है जिसके हम सब लोग हैं। कोई भेद नहीं है, कोई भाव नहीं है। आज इतने प्रोग्राम एंकर करने के बाद शब्द कम पड़ रहे हैं, मन भाव विभोर हो रहा है। तो एक बार तालियों की गड़गड़ाहट से लक्ष्मी जी का अभिनंदन करें। Before I start the event, I would request all the dignitaries to please light the lamp. Can we have the candles, please?
Saraswati Mati Prade Vasatvam Mama Jivagri Sarva Vidya Pradabhava Yamundini Tushar Dhavana Ya Shubhravastramruta Ya Veena Varadanda Mandita Kara Ya Shveta Padmasana Ya Brahmachyuta Shankara Prabhutibhi Devai Sada Vandita Sama Pato Saraswati Bhagavati Nishesha Jadya Paha.
Coined in the Matsya Purana and the Brihad Samhita. It is a synthesis of the masculine and the feminine energies of the universe, in Sanskrit called Purusha and Prakriti. The union of this principle is the exalted womb of all creation in the universe today. This term also is found in the Greek and Roman mythology. the earliest images and iconography is found in the 1st century CE from the Kushan period. The chief guest today, Ms. Laxmi Narayan Tripathi ji, born into an Orthodox Brahmin family in Maharashtra. After completing her schooling and college, did a postgraduate degree in Bharatanatyam. She has projected the rights of transgender from a very early age. She has gone through all the ups and downs, which we have not even heard of, and stands as a pillar of strength in front of the society today. The first transgender to have represented the Asia-Pacific region in the United Nations, ladies and gentlemen. Now, before we call Laxmi ji here, I would like to introduce the panel to you. We have a very young, dynamic, energetic, knowledgeable CEO of Galgotias University, Mr. Galgotias, sir. Sir is the source behind such events in the university. He always is the inspiration that cultural events should be merged with knowledge and academics in order to get a fulfilled growth, not just studies. You need to have a holistic growth. And with that view, he takes all of us together. We are also joined by our Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Renu Luthra ma'am. Ma'am, I can just say one thing, that if ma'am is not there, events don't function. The energy in her is 500 times all of us put together. Today it's too small to mention ma'am's academic excellence, her conferences, her awards. I would just say, I always say that, ma'am knows it, that यूनिवर्सिटी के जो बड़े होते हैं उनका आशीर्वाद रहता है तो सब फल जाता है, और आज दिख रहा है फल. Thank you so much, ma'am. We are also joined by our Pro Vice Chancellor, sir, Professor Varyar. Sir is an engineer by background. He's handling the academics in the university and always open for such kind of events. When I invited Sir, Sir said, I'll come. I'll definitely come. And that was something, because I also invited ma'am, Sir's wife. She was not available, but Sir made it a point. He has a lot of appointments today. There's a job fair going on in the university simultaneously, but Sir is here. Thank you so much, Sir, for being with us. I would also now like to introduce our first guest of honor to you, Mr. Subhash Bhatt. He has about 37 years of experience in law. He's a senior corporate litigator, and he was the ASG in Jammu, state of J&K as well. He has been the standing counsel for many departments of the government. He's an expert at corporate laws. He's an expert at arbitration laws, foreign investment, real estate and hospitality. And he has done litigation and legal transactions in India and in about 100 odd countries. And very proudly I can also say that Sir has been a scholar in the British Council, in the Commonwealth Secretariat and the European Commission of Human Rights. We also are joined with Mrs. Indra Bhatt, Sir's better half. She's sitting right here. She is a litigation lawyer with 23 years of experience, and she's the founder of the World Law Center, which you can see right here. Thank you, ma'am, for joining us. We also have with us Ms. Neelu Menwal, ma'am, our second guest of honor. She's the Secretary, District Legal Services Authority. We went to ma'am just this Friday because ma'am busy थे, हमें appointment नहीं मिल पा रहा था. जब हम गए तो ma'am का एक ही line था, बहुत conferences में जाती हूँ, बहुत seminars में जाती हूँ, ये कुछ अलग है, मैं ज़रूर आऊँगी. Thank you so much, ma'am. Time is Ma'am is doing wonderful work in the jails for the juveniles. जिस दिन हम गए थे उस दिन भी मैम बोल रही थी कि एक जुवेनाइल को ऐसे ऑपरेट किया था उन्होंने कि उन्होंने देखा ही नहीं कि वो इंसान था, बच्चा था कि जानवर था. और मैम पर्सनली जेल्स में जा के उनका ख्याल रखती हैं. So I think who better than her today to speak about the human rights of transgenders. Thank you, ma'am. And our very, very own Professor Dr. Kiran Gardner, the Dean School of Law. Let's hear it for her. I think I don't need to say it, but जिस दिन से मैम आए हैं और जिस दिन से मैम ने हमें ज्वाइन किया है, इवेंट्स की एनर्जी बढ़ती ही चली गई. एंड एक के बाद एक इवेंट्स हो रहे हैं, कीपिंग इन माइंड कि एकेडमिक्स लॉस में ना. ऑल माय वॉलंटियर्स हियर हु आर स्टैंडिंग, यू नो, दे आर परफॉर्मिंग सो वेल इन एकेडमिक्स बिकॉज मैम हमेशा ये कहते हैं दोनों साथ में करना है. जैसे साइकिल को बैलेंस करते हो वैसे ये चलाना है, एकेडमिक्स भी चलाने हैं और इवेंट्स भी चलाने हैं. इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. वन फॉर योर इनर ग्रोथ, वन फॉर योर आउटर ग्रोथ. थैंक यू सो मच. I would like Dhruv sir to welcome Laxmi ma'am with a bouquet of flowers. I would request Renu ma'am to please welcome Neelu ma'am on behalf of the university. And I request Varyar sir to please welcome Subhash sir on behalf of the university. And one special bouquet to Laxmi ma'am from the students of School of Law. Dean ma'am, if you could give that please. This is on behalf of all our students. Please ma'am, raise us.
Thank you, Pranav. Ma'am, Laxmi Narayan Tripathi ji, Ms. Kamini ji, our CEO, Mr. Dhruv Galgotia, Mr. Subhash Bhatt, Ms. Neelu, Mr. Chavi, Ms. Chavi, Mrs. Avinash Kaur, Mrs. Raina, Mrs. Pamni Sachdeva, and other distinguished guests assembled here, my faculty colleagues, and above all, my dear students. A very good morning to you.
Good morning, ma'am.
It's such an honor, it's such a privilege to have in our midst an august personality. I was talking with her this morning and I told her, in the life of any organization, there comes a watershed moment, a defining moment, which changes the thinking, perhaps even the destiny of those who were present at that moment. The moment she got off from the car, I just knew that today is such a moment, such a day. Ma'am, at the university, at Galgotias University, we have constantly been striving for creating, generating in the young men and women who come under our charge an acceptance of society, a support for values, a support for standing up, the strength and the courage to stand up for what is right, the courage to speak out their minds. Today, we have in our midst a person, and I'm deeply emotionally moved. I have just been looking and listening, because this is a change I desire in the young men and women who come to us. And here is this person, a multifaceted personality, as the introduction of Pranav says, so I won't repeat that, who had the courage to take up a cause which historically India in the past, in ancient times, has respected, has admired, has projected. Why did we ever dehumanize ourselves? Where was that gone? She has stood up for that. And that, my dear young students, I do want that when she's here, she ignites that fire in you, that you too carry forward the torch that has been lit by her. Do you promise me to do that today after hearing her?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm so glad. Thank you so much. Ma'am, I promise you today that Galgotias University will, in whatever manner, make its humble contribution to your fight. We, the faculty, staff and students, will always stand beside you. Please call upon us, because I know when we stand beside you, we will all become the better for it. Often in my speeches, I keep telling everyone, I keep asking this question of the young men and women who come under our charge. I ask them, do you want to be remembered in life? Do you want to leave your footprints in the sands of time? Here is a woman who has not left sands of time. So, if you too want to leave your footprints on the sands of time, don't drag your feet. The time to rise up, speak. Support is.
And another step in 2014, when Honorable Supreme Court in India has recognized this gender, other transgender groups as an official third gender, and with a landmark ruling, and you must know that the honorable guest of our dais has been a party to that landmark judgment. It is estimated that today over 2 million Indians identify with a non-binary gender. The fight for legal acceptance and respect of third gender in India was led by the many activists, just like her, who risked their lives and reputation by demanding recognition by policymakers and took the case all the way to the Honorable Supreme Court. So hats off to her struggle that she has fought. Since the groundbreaking ruling, members of the third gender community have taken potential office and other prominent roles in India. If we talk about the landmark judgment where Laxmi ji have been party, and one of the primary petitioner was National Legal Services Authority, that has been a guiding force through under which this District Legal Services Authority is working. So it has been guided by Article 39A of our Constitution, which says that no person should be deprived of any legal aid. That is, there should be equality of law, equal protection of law for all. A Legal Services Authority Act that has been enacted in 1987 has the guiding force of the Article 39A of our Constitution. This judgment, Nalsa versus Union of India, which declared transgender people to be a third gender, affirmed what the fundamental rights granted under the Constitution of India will be equally applicable to transgender people, and gave them the right to self-identification of their gender as a male, female or other gender. So this landmark judgment gave them a special identity and defined them as a transgender. Transgender is an umbrella term that is used for all the terms used for such identities. Moreover, the court also hold that because transgender people are treated as socially and economically backward classes, they will be granted reservation in admissions to educational institutions and jobs. So first of all, Article 14 was taken, and it is said that as a human being, that the third gender has a right to equality and equal protection of laws. Under Article 15, no gender should be discriminated on the basis of any race, caste, religion or gender. So, the Article 16 also emphasizes on that no gender should be deprived of any opportunity for employment. So there is nothing, any specific male or female or anything described that they should not be discriminated. There is a term gender is used which is applicable for any type of gender, whether she's a male, female or other gender. Court has directed central and state governments to grant legal recognition of gender identity. Court recognizes that fundamental rights are available to the third gender in the same manner as they are to be males, females, and further non-recognition in both civil criminal statutes such as those relating to marriage, adoption, divorce, etc. is discriminatory to the third gender. Honorable Supreme Court has also directed central and state to take proper measures to provide medical care to transgenders in the hospitals and also provide them separate public toilets and other facilities. They have been directed to operate separate HIV serosurveillance measures for transgender people. Talking about the socio-economic rights, central and states have been asked to provide the community various social welfare schemes. And last but not the least, about the stigma and public awareness, there have been a very broad direction in this field. Central and state government are asked to take steps to create public awareness so that transgender people feel themselves also part and parcel of the society. So, as Secretary of District Legal Services Authority, I also organize such programs to make this part of our society to be in continuity with the mainstream of the society. Honorable Supreme Court has defined the term transgender and said that it is derived from two terms, that is trans and gender. Trans means across or beyond, and gender means means male, female. So the gender that is beyond any gender is known as transgender, umbrella term which includes gay, lesbians, bisexual, etc. The rule of law is not merely public order. The rule of law is social justice based on public order. So this is all what the law has said about the third gender of our society. I may also throw some light on what the achievement this target group has achieved since then. In 2015, Madhu Baikinar became the first openly transgender mayor in India, and about Laxmi Ma'am, you must be knowing that she is the first lady to represent the Asia Pacific in the UN 2008 at the Assembly, and she spoke about the plight of sexual minorities. The same year, in 2015, Dr. Manali Bandyopadhyay became the first transgender college principal. In 2016, Padmini Prakash became India's first transgender news anchor on the daily primetime news TV. India has now, I will talk about a judge, Joyita Mandal from West Bengal, to attend a Lok Adalat. So we are now having a transgender pastor, banker, police inspector, taxi service, modeling agencies, and so on. So I will also talk about another breakthrough in the move towards the upliftment of transgender, when Honorable Supreme Court in August 2017 passed a verdict in which right to privacy was also declared fundamental right to the transgender. The ruling enabled protections of sexual orientation of citizens. So, and I will also let you know that Honorable Supreme Court has asked us, National Legal Services Authority has asked us to appoint some of the paralegal volunteers from this stream, from transgenders, so that they may easily represent in our awareness programs and approach the society. In the Indian state of Kerala, the nation's first transgender residential school was recently opened, named as Sahaj International, which offer courses in development to transsexual students. I will also mention our transgender wedding, which was held in a temple in Mumbai. Although it was not a first transgender marriage in India, but it is considered to be the first legal joining that was not facilitated in secret. So recognition as a transgender, as a third gender, is not a social or medical issue, but a human rights issue, and we are seeing an escalating global demand to update policies to provide transgender people fundamental human rights and basic civil liberties. And I will also promise that if any help or any legal help or pre-legal aid or about the assertion of any fundamental right of any person of the society is there, then I will surely going to help him or her in asserting the problem or asserting their rights. Thank you so much.
Ambassador of a super premium brand of makeup called Artistry from Neutralite. She has a business of health, nutrition and beauty in over 11 countries, and she's a diamond in her business. Mrs. Pammi Sachdeva is with us. Let's hear it for her. And she has specially come today. She was supposed to fly to Bangkok, but she held her ticket back because I told her a week ago that you're coming. And she said, मैं कुछ देना चाहती हूँ अपनी तरफ से because Laxmi ji is very good at makeup. So she's bought you a small gift. I request Pammi ji to come up on the stage and hand that over to Laxmi ma'am. Wow, one beauty to another. In the Vedas, the beauty has three aspects to it. Saundarya, Madhurya, Aishwarya. And all three aspects we can see in Laxmi ji. World Law Center have given us a word that they'll help us with admissions and placements. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am. And we hail from the same state that I hail from, Jammu and Kashmir. So I'm really proud that we have such senior people from our state living in Delhi, representing the legal background and taking it further for students. Because when I met him, I was very worried. We have a placement cell in the college, and our Chancellor's vision is that every student that comes to Galgotias University must go back with a placement. That is Dhruv sir's vision, Chancellor sir's vision, that यहाँ से कोई खाली हाथ नहीं जाना चाहिए. इतना सुंदर भाव और उसमें सहयोग देने के लिए ईश्वर के भेजे हुए सुभाष भट्ट जी और इंदिरा जी. Thank you so much, and Subhash ji, I call you on the dais to share your words of wisdom.
Madam Vice Chancellor, the Pro Chancellor, the Chief Guest,
Laxmi, Dhruvi, Professor Gardner, ladies and gentlemen, and my dear student friends. I think Pranav has been very gracious to talk about the World Law Center promoted by my wife. Essentially, she is the CEO there. But what I would like to tell all of you is I think that you are blessed with a wonderful faculty, a university which I did not have. If we are talking about education, the kind of facilities you have, the kind of faculty that you have, a person like Professor Gardner being at the helm of the law school is something which you should be grateful to God for. I have studied in a government school, I have studied in a government college, I have studied in a government university, and I have been able, because of my teachers, rise to the pinnacles of success in my chosen profession. I am sure that this university will lead you to the same heights that you deserve. Coming to the topic today, are you aware of why Dr. Gardner said that this is a watershed moment in the history of this university? What is there? There is a lady who has come to this university. Why does it make it a watershed moment for the university? There is some reason behind it. The reason behind this is that the lady who is this chief guest today is history for all Indian Jews. Do you know what history she has created? It is not that she filed a PIL before the Supreme Court. That is not, I think, the greatest credit. The credit is that she told a story to the Supreme Court. All that she did was tell a story of pain, tell a story about herself and people like her. And that story, that affidavit, is what all of you should read as students of law. It is a story which moved the Supreme Court of India. And if you have, any of you have read the Nalsa judgment, the opening paras are what is important to read. It is what she did not, Laxmi did not ask anything for herself. She asked for a very small community of Indians who have been subject to a lot of, what should I say, harassment, stigma, harassment, pain and suffering. And before I start, I would like to read the first para of the judgment, because I really implore upon you to understand the impact of this judgment. The first para says, the judgment, the Nalsa judgment that we talk about the rights of transgenders in India, what it reads: seldom our society realizes or cares to realize the trauma, agony and pain which the members of the transgender community undergo, nor appreciates the innate, you understand, innermost feelings of the members of the transgender community, especially of those whose mind and body disown their own biological sex. This judgment is a judgment on pain. This judgment is a judgment on trauma. This judgment is a judgment of recognition by the highest court of this country about the trauma and the agony faced by a group of people. And the Supreme Court rose to the occasion. It said, our society often ridicules and abuses the transgender community. And in places like railway stations, bus stands, schools, workplaces, malls, theaters, hospitals, they are sidelined and treated as untouchables, forgetting the fact that the moral failure lies in the society's unwillingness to contain or embrace different gender identities and expressions. A mindset which we have to change. The Supreme Court, the contribution of our chief guest here, and the reason why she is the chief guest here, is she made the Supreme Court of India an instrument of social change, a change which the members of parliament, the legislature had not done. Despite the United Nations, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, all the declarations, the government had not risen to the occasion. And if you read the entire judgment, the Supreme Court based its whole thought process on one single fact: the pain which was portrayed by Laxmi Tripathi. So Laxmi Tripathi's contribution to law is something which you need to understand. That this judgment by the Supreme Court of India is based out of an understanding of pain and trauma. It is not a judgment which is based purely on law, on whether Article 14 is what are the guarantees or the rights given to genders. The whole issue is the contribution of Dr. Laxmi, that it made the legal fraternity and the Supreme Court come out of its slumber and come out with a judgment where they not only recognized the pain and the trauma of what is now known as the third gender, but they recognized and made the law recognize that the third gender is as important as the first or the second, the male or the female gender. And this judgment has such a cascading effect that which law can you now think of, whether it is succession, whether it is marriage, whether it's, we're talking of homosexuality and we're talking of different laws, that your concept of man and woman, boy and girl, son and daughter has been made to change. This is Laxmi's contribution to society and to law. That a thing which was people who were ignored, people who did not exist legally, suddenly arrived on the scene. Whether the judgment has left out various things or taken some things which is, people say that the grant of reservation by the court was not called for, but those are controversies. But what is important is the fact that law has been made to think differently. Law has been made to think differently about differently abled people. People who are not what was your perception, who were to be ignored. But many people I talk to have not been able to understand and not been able to give me a clear-cut distinction between who are transgenders. Because there is a concept of transsexuals and transgenders. I do not know how many of you appreciate that the Supreme Court of India not only dealt with this question which was being brushed under the carpet. The Supreme Court of India actually dealt with the problem and came up with a broad basic understanding of who are transgenders. You as lawyers need to understand this, because if in your profession you are required to deal with the rights or obligations or duties or any issues relating to transgenders, you need to understand this third gender has how the Supreme Court actually dealt with this issue. Although I would basically encourage you to read the judgment, because as students of law, the most fundamental issue about transgender rights is your knowledge of what are transgenders and what did the Supreme Court say about who are transgenders. And I will again quote a part of this judgment because we are in the school of law. Transgender is generally described as an umbrella term for persons whose gender, identity, gender expression or behavior does not conform to their biological sex. Between the biological sex and gender, there is a difference. That difference is fundamental to understanding the basic problems of transgenders. TG may also take in persons who do not identify with their sex assigned at birth. Means the person, the transgender, could be a person who is born with a particular sex and but thinks different, believes in a different gender, and which includes hijras and eunuchs. Hijras are not men by virtue of anatomy appearance. Please understand, this is one of the probably the most fundamental thing about the definition that you have to understand. It is nothing to do with the anatomical appearance. They are also not women, though they are like women, and they are with no female protection order. I will not go to that. Essentially, what you need to understand is that between the body and mind is the conflict. It is that conflict of gender that creates a group of people who have special needs. And these special needs, instead of having been catered to by us as a society, as a civil society, we look down upon such people who have been subject to such emotional agony and trauma. This is the contribution of Laxmi Tripathi. That this issue of transsexuals, transgenders, what is gender, what is sex, what is their needs, is what she made lawyers understand. And made the Supreme Court lay down law, because the Parliament did not lay law. Even today the Parliament has just made a bill. The act has not been passed. But the law... But that is true. But if you read even the bill, the effort of making that bill is a creation of Laxmi and her other friends. Otherwise, if you read the bill and understand the constitution of that bill, if it is passed, it goes beyond human rights. What has been given in the bill is creating new definitions of equality, equality in mobility, equality not only in jobs and education sectors, but equality in those sectors which is unheard of. To my mind, the entire definitions of fundamental rights has been changed in the bill. So what I am addressing you, my students, is that this is a problem which was created by the civil society and for which one person and her group fought and revolutionized law. I would like you to understand that what was the order passed by the Supreme Court. The Nalsa judgment lays down about 7 postulates. It says hijras, eunuchs, apart from binary gender. Do you understand the binary gender, the male-female gender? be treated as a third gender. A law was created, a definition was created in law in India, which now permeates through different laws and has to be enforced. For the purpose of safeguarding their rights under Part 3 of the Constitution, which is the fundamental rights, and the laws made by Parliament and the state legislature. So essentially what the Supreme Court said, that we are not only saying that this is the third gender for the purpose of fundamental rights, and some fundamental rights have been given to this third gender. What the Supreme Court said is that this third gender would be recognized not only in Part 3 but every law made by Parliament and by the state legislature. It is an absolutely absurd state of affairs that the government has still not implemented it. But I will leave that to Laxmi to explain. The second most important thing which the Supreme Court said was, transgenders' right to decide their self-identified gender is also upheld. Do you understand what that means? The choice to decide one's gender was given by the Supreme Court. And when the Supreme Court said this, it meant that there can be nobody, there can be no authority, there can be no public servant who can deny a person of the third gender his right of choice of gender.
Or any gender, not only third gender.
Any gender, absolutely. So the right, what you're talking about, right to privacy, right to choose, this right to choose gender is history. And this is why I said that this is what was told by Dr. Gardner, that this is a watershed moment in our history of your university. That a person who created history and constitutional history is amongst you and going to tell us about her story of her fight for gender equality. So this right to choose is something which changed the concept of law. And right to choose what? Not one's thought. The right to choose one's gender. I am a man, but I choose to be a woman because I think like a woman. This is what is important. And this you need to understand is the highest level of constitutional history in India. I cannot conceive of any other judgment which has had such far-reaching consequences as what this judgment is hoping to do and will do. The right to choose one's gender is something which has not been thought of, conceived of before, anywhere in the world. So this is history. This is the watershed moment which you should understand. It says we direct the state and central government to take steps to treat them is the third gender, the transgenders, as socially and educationally backward classes. Because history will show that how much they have suffered. And based on that suffering, even though the entire community is a minority in India, but because of who they are, have been treated by the Supreme Court to be backward classes, and the Supreme Court has said that the state and central government shall extend all reservation in cases of admission in educational institutions, and all educational institutions who derive recognition or aid from the government have to follow these guidelines which have been laid down by the Supreme Court. Central and state governments are directed to operate separate HIV, that is based on the illnesses that this community has had. And the last, before I go to the recommendatory provisions of this judgment, is that the central and state governments should seriously address the problems being faced by Hijras transgenders, such as fear. Can you imagine living a life of fear? What was said that when a Hijra would come and you would be afraid. But this story of Laxmi Tripathi. And as she has unfolded in the Supreme Court and made the Supreme Court change such a basic law, was that the fear that they live in, not that the fear that you and me may have when they see a hijra or a transgender on the road. The fear that they have, the shame, the gender, the dysphoria, social pressure, depression, suicidal tendencies, social stigma, etc. And instances of SRS for declaring one gender immoral and illegal. They held it to be illegal and immoral. They went to the extent of going to immorality, declaring that any person who violates any of the rights of transgenders are not only committing an illegal act, but they are committing an immoral act. I do not propose to keep you from Laxmi Tripathi any longer, but I wish to tell you, as a lawyer, as a student of law, that what she has done in the development of constitutional law in India is something which she will be remembered forever. And I implore you students, all of you, to read at least part of the affidavit which is produced to the judgment during my lecture.
कहा था मैं देखूंगी तो मैं गले ही लगा लूंगी.
I'm honored, I'm overwhelmed.
We are more than honored. My company puts up its first launch today, and I'm so happy it starts with you.
Thank you so much.
I would request the other partners to present the mementos to Dhruv sir, the CEO of Galgotias University.
And I never knew what I did.
I would request the other partner to present a memento to Mrs. Renu Luthra ma'am, our Vice Chancellor, and Professor Kiran Gardner, Dean School of Law. And let's be patient just a little bit more and we'll get to hear Laxmi ma'am. Mrs. Chavi Goyal, the director of My Circle, she wants to say a few words. Please, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Face. I want to make My Circles that face so that we can actually do wonders to our job. Our My Circle is a small unit just now. We are just working very hard to play it all over India, pan-India. Ma'am, we are hyper-local. That means we are just going down to the districts, the villages, the gullies, the mohallas, so that we can know our cities, our places better. In Facebook, you'll read the world, but with My Circle, you'll know your geographical areas better. And I promise you, we'll do wonders in it. I would like ma'am to have our app, and I would love Prashant to give her the handover of the apparatus. First, after the function you can do that. I'll like more time with her. Right now, Galgotia is doing wonderful job. I'll request her over here if he can ask his students and we can be a partner to him so that the children can create some stories for us. We'll be highly honored if Galgotia becomes a part of My Circles. Such beautiful cases and such beautiful people combined over here. It's an energy zone. And these children, when you're listening to ma'am, I have gone through her videos like mad. I have seen every bit of it, and you can see it by the way I'm dressed up. Nothing better. It's actually her enforcement on me. Listen to her. Actually, she has not fought. It's her triumph. It's a victory towards all her people. Listen how she manages to say her rights. Listen. Believe me, listen and you'll know a lot about how to voice your opinions. That is the most important thing in law. Voicing your opinions. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for giving blessings to our company. Thank you.
And let's see a 2-minute movie on Laxmi ma'am, and then I'll hand over the stage to her. It's created by Oxford University Press. Can we have the lights off, Shikhar, please?
Actually, in my college, I knew each which were not included. So I thought the university should be quite full.
Isn't it strange? 10 साल पहले, if 10 years before, if you see, hijras were not even talked about. There were so much of myths and misconceptions, though we have such a rich heritage behind us. From early childhood, I was never a man. Meri ruh janani thi, I was so feminine. I was in 2nd standard and I was sexually abused at a very young age, where a child technically shouldn't be knowing anything. And I was never a child. So lucky people who have beautiful childhood. What would you describe a mother who took all the stigma and discrimination on her and the taunts of the society that she has a hijra child, and still she stood next to me? Mothers are mothers. Me Laxmi, me hijra. वो किताब लिखते वक्त भी मुझे बड़ा I had to dig my mind. I always never want to talk about my childhood, but the agony of life always has to be written, has to be documented. Did I choose to become Laxmi, or I was destined to be Laxmi? I always say your work is your identity. And maybe I was destined to work. Did I knew that being a hijra, I would go to Manhattan UN building and touch my flag, Tiranga over there? Never, I never thought. Would I travel the world? Would I be seen? But only one thing which I would love to see, that this book would create a change. At least even 10 people change their perspective and take consideration that even we are human beings. I would have won the battle. And there shouldn't be another Laxmi writing her book story to bring out the change in the society.
Jai Shri Mahakal. Mahakal is very sweet. The best goodie next to me itself. So there is a charismatic dignitaries on the stage. Today I am at Galgotias University, and of course it is a lot of pain and a lot of what we say work. Your few faculty members and students have really gone through pain in getting me here, you know. थोड़ा तो ड्रामा होना चाहिए ना, नहीं तो इतना आसान से लक्ष्मी मिल जाए तो उसका वैल्यू नहीं रहता है ना। तो मेरी जिंदगी मतलब अगर देखे जाए तो अभी सर ने जिस तरीके से भट्ट सर ने कहा, तो मैं बहुत 1 मिनट के लिए मूव हो गई, and I suddenly remembered the courtroom when I was present when the justice was given. Justice was done in India after around more than 300 or 600 years. that a community gets its right back, but not also fully. If children you all are over there, you all can come and sit here. Even you all can pair dukh rahe kab se khade ho. आप लोग आके नीचे अगर बैठना मंजूर है तो बैठ जाए. I don't mind, please. Because hardly you will find me next time, you know. One should know one's value, and one should really keep your value within yourself. Learn to cherish your values. Learn to value your own self so that you have the ability to value others without stigma and discrimination, without preconceived notions. It's really easy to say, but it is the most difficult thing to practice. Of course, why this 3 months has been difficult, because my mother was really sick. She was on the dying bed. And of course, by God's grace, by Touchwood Mahakar, she's again good, and again I have started because that was the situation from 23rd January till 17th March. I said the world can wait, but not my mother. Because God could not be everywhere, so He created mother. And we as children should understand that. आप लोग उस उम्र में हो where we feel parents are the biggest enemy and the friends are the best people. Friends are friends, of course, yes. But in my life, my parents has been the best of my friends, and which I have learned. Bhatt Sahib, when he was narrating that what I have changed, I always believe I have done nothing. Whatever I did was for my own dignity. Whatever I did was not for the community, it was for Laxmi herself. कहावत है ना, जिस बाजार में मेरे माँ बाप ने फूल बेचा, वहाँ मैंने मांस बेचा. मांस, वो morality वगैरह सब it can go in dustbin, you know, I don't even care. है ना, नैतिकता की दुहाई जब समाज में, that नैतिकता and morality all came because of the Britishers. And I at times also get bloody irritated that our judiciary is still so colonial. And you're studying law. But there is so much thing which is required to change in law. Good that we have got, the law reforms haven't have happened, and the law commission's reports haven't been put into. हमें बड़ी आशा थी कि अच्छे दिन सब जगह आएंगे. आशावान है, मेरे भी अच्छे दिन आएंगे, जैसे आपके अच्छे दिन आएंगे. We are living in such an era where femininity is being crushed down at every corner, every situation. In these couple of days when you hear the stories, the soul of a woman which I have, I can understand what would have gone through that girl's sexual abuse. Good, my abuser never killed me. But then, it's sad that what community we are creating and what future our country has. Because, and then afterwards today morning I see one of my friends showed me that the highest on porn sites, if people have googled, was of Astitiva. What a shameful society we have created. It's just she was she was raped. But once you're raped, it stays with you. It stays and it stays and it stays. And the fight what I started was because it was not somebody outsider. मेरा कोई अपना ही तो था. It was nobody, and who is outsider? When we say we are a community, when we say everybody is a family. It took years for me to fall in love, to give myself completely to somebody. At times people even have that preconceived notions because you're sexually abused at a very young age, so you become different. No. I was sexually abused because I was not in that boxes of male and female which the Britishers created, the gender dynamics, the gender politics, because I was born in a country, India, Bharatvarsh. इस हिंदुस्तान में हम पैदा हुए थे और यहाँ पे लैंगिकता के बड़े बड़े उदाहरण रहे हैं. And I always see my sexuality is like the Ganges. I keep discovering myself. I'm so pure. आत्मा तो प्योर ही होती है. ये तो आप लोग भी मानते हैं, हाँ या ना? तो वही आत्मा जो परमात्मा में विलीन हो जाएगी सच्चिदानंद स्वरूप में, मैं उन सबको वंदन करती हूँ जो आज मुझे सुन रहे हैं, और मैं आपको मेरी छोटी सी दुनिया में ले चलती हूँ. चलोगे? तो कितने नाश्ता नहीं किया था क्या? मैंने नाश्ता नहीं किया, तुम लोग ने तो किया था. हाँ. तो हाँ, कोई बात नहीं सर, मैडम, आई एम अबाउट जेंडर. मुझे क्या फर्क पड़ता है? प्यार से जो मुझे बुलाएगा मैं उसकी हूँ. मेरा नाम भी तो वैसे ना, लक्ष्मी को जो प्यार से बुलाता है लक्ष्मी उसकी हो जाती है. मैं गाँव में जाती हूँ ना, आज भी गोरखपुर मेरे पैतृक गांव गोरखपुर है, तो कोई मुझे चाचा बोलता है, कोई मुझे बुआ बोलता है, कोई मुझे क्या नाना बोलेगा, तो कोई मुझे नानी बोलेगा. तो सब इट्स वेरी कंफ्यूजिंग इन द होल फैमिली, यू नो, एंड इट कीप्स ऑन गोइंग दैट वे. तो छोटे वाले जो बच्चे हैं ना, अरे पागल बड़े भैया, वो तो नानी है, नाना क्यों बोले तुमने? दैट काइंड ऑफ अ सिचुएशन इट इज, नो. I recently went for a marriage, a small, sexy, bloody, he will be such a handsome boy in my family. इतना सा बच्चा, मेरी बड़ी बहन का पोता, हाँ पोता, इसे टेबल पे मैं साड़ी पहन रही थी, तो मेरी बड़ी बहन भी थी, तो उन्होंने बोला ये भी तुम्हारी दादी लगी है. तो ऐसे देखो छोटे से बच्चे कितने स्मार्ट है आजकल ना. बोलते आप तो ज़्यादा सुंदर नहीं हो दादी बनने के लिए मेरी. मैं बोली तो क्या बनाओगे? बोले हम लोग घूमने जाएंगे साथ में. बोली हाँ बेटा, मैं तेरी गर्लफ्रेंड थी. That kind of now the situation has changed so much that even small kids are trying to understand technology. आप लोगों के ज़माने में या मेरे भी ज़माने में जब मेरा सेक्सुअल अब्यूज़ हुआ था तो डरा दिया तो हम डर गए. आज तो रिपोर्टिंग हो रही है. And it's good that people are reporting. Today we are taught what is good touch, what is bad touch. Because of morality और ये political scenario की वजह से sex education हमारे स्कूलों में नहीं है. ये सबसे बड़ा ड्रॉबैक है. और ये morality हमें ले डूबेगी. Communalization of anything, मतलब ये धर्म के नाम पे, आज ये सब धर्म के नाम पे ही हो रहा है ना. हमारा भी वैसे ही हुआ था. That when the Mughals came, they took away our religion, क्योंकि उनका हरम बहुत बड़ा होता था. You all know what is haram, and the people who could be entrusted into that haram were the transgender people. तो उनको उनके दयारों से निकाल के उनको मुसलमान करके उनको हरम की जिम्मेदारी दे दी. पर हाँ, तो भी वो अच्छे थे क्योंकि उन्होंने सम्मान दिया, उन्होंने औहदा दिया, उन्होंने समाज में, इन द सोसाइटी वी वेर नोबल्स. में दिल्ली, द दिल्ली स्टेट विच इज कैपिटल ऑफ इंडिया, इफ यू गो टू द आर्कियोलॉजिकल सोसाइटी एंड टिक आउट दोज डॉक्यूमेंट्स, मोर देन हाफ ऑफ दिल्ली बिलोंग्ड टू हिजड़ा. बिकॉज इवन द लास्ट जनरल सिपा सलार कहते हैं ना, और बहादुर शाह जफर वॉज a transgender person. 500 transgender were killed to enter the harem of the noble women, but they only found the queen because सुरंग के रास्ते सबको निकलवा दिया गया था. Britishers were bloody scared of the hijras because उनके इधर ये सब कुछ भी नहीं था ना. वो civilization हमसे बहुत पुरानी तो नहीं है. They were new products in civilization. We have thousands of years of culture and civilization this motherland carried, and the main 4 religions are born over here: Hinduism, Jainism, Buddhism, Sikhism, and none of the religion discriminated against any human being. Now even the Pope has to come and say that we are the biggest sinner to deprive people, gay people, their rights. Who are we to judge between the God and the God's child? The Pope has said it. He's so right. Who I am Acharya Mahamandaleshwar, which is a very big position. Who am I to judge any one of you? मुझे अभी किसी ने बोला था, लक्ष्मी माँ आप तो इतने बड़े धर्म की पोजीशन में, अभी आप सेक्शन 377 के लिए तो कुछ नहीं बोलेंगे? बोली हाँ। मैं चित्रगुप्त नहीं हूँ ना बेटा, अगर मैं चित्रगुप्त हूँ तो मैं यमलोक में रहना चाहिए, तो मैं इस भूतल पे नहीं गया। My position is I'll give love unconditionally. पाप पुण्य क्या है? What is this? This is all bullshit. Live your one life. Enjoy. Live for every second, which I did. इसके लिए कभी भी when I was writing when the book was written, so to take out from my past was a challenge. Because I, as a person, I believe my life is a celebration. And I enjoy every minute of my life. And that's why whatever happened to me, whether it was abuse or anything, it just went back, flushed it out of my system. Yes, I was abused, done. I took the revenge also from the men. But look, I wrote this book, The Red Lipstick Men in My Life, and about all the men. Not single is left out. Yeah. How civilization. हमारे ज़माने में मिल्स एंड बून्स हम पढ़ते थे. If you all remember. Am I right? Yeah. So, George Tyler, yes. So it is a better version of it. But in this book, I even wrote about women whom I felt were much more better than men. Who changed Laxmi? Who were a change maker. Because being a man is not bloody any man's job. Women can be better man themselves. एक घटना मैं बताती हूँ मीरा का. Interested हो सुनने के लिए? Hi darling, are you interested? Love you. He's confused now. So मीरा अपने मस्ती से जा रही थी धुन में श्री कृष्ण की, और उतने में एक जगह वो प्रवेश कर गई, पर वो दरवाजे पे लिखा था यहाँ पे नारी का आना निषेध है. हाँ. तो वहाँ जितने सद्गुरु लोग थे सब हंसने लगे मीरा को देख के. अरे बावली मीरा, तुझे पता नहीं यहाँ नारी नहीं है. लगा देना. ये सुन के मीरा एक क्षण
दूसरा मुझे भी कहा कि एक रिकॉर्ड आप करें. वो बेस्ट होगा, मैं देख लूँगा. आई थिंक वो बेस्ट है.
आज मुझे पता चला कोई दूसरा भी पुरुष है इस धरती पे. The Vedic religion which I come from, the Vedic Sanatan Dharma says, मैं सिर्फ एक पुरुष हूँ, पूरी प्रकृति नारी है. तो जब एक पुरुष है तो ये पुरुषार्थ जो पुरुषों ने आडंबर करके बनाया है, इन्होंने नारी को दबाने के लिए ये पुरुषार्थ का रूप लिया. और देखिए, जब भी सत्ता की भूख बड़ी है, the highest price women have paid. And today also we are seeing how a 8-year-old to 11-year-old to even physically challenged girls are paying in this society. It is this, ये सत्ता का जब भूख बढ़ जाता है और समाज विभाजित होता है, the biggest price is paid by the femininity. Women means biological, non-biological femininity. नदी भी हमारी पे कर रही है ना, ग्लोबलाइजेशन के नाम पे. And what is your job as budding lawyers? What is your motive in life? पैसा तो सबको कमाना है ना. पैसा नहीं कमाएंगे तो घर का खर्च कैसे चलेगा, आईफोन कैसे खरीदेंगे, जो लेटेस्ट आएगा. We need all the luxuries, right? But with that we have our own responsibility for the society. Justice cannot be delivered at the doorstep of anybody. Fine, that is also accepted. But we need our education system in India to change because it is still so colonized that in our country we don't teach anybody what is your basic fundamental right as an Indian. We never teach our girls what is their basic fundamental right as a young girl or a married girl or a mother or a widow or anything. How many of you even know your own rights as a woman in this country? Because I don't understand हमारा education system किस टाइप का है कि जो हम पढ़ते हैं वो हमें कभी यूज ही नहीं आता जिंदगी में. मुझे यूज आया. हाँ, what earns bread is not education, is knowledge. And that to attain knowledge is our responsibility as a person. But education gives you the foundation, a strong foundation to acquire the right knowledge, which you all should understand. So as a lawyer, आप law school में पढ़ोगे सब कुछ, पर बहुत कम ही जेठ मलानी बनते हैं, बहुत कम ही इंदिरा जयसिंह बनते हैं. क्यों? They rub their ass. Yeah, nothing else. There is no shortcut to success. मैं लक्ष्मी नारायण त्रिपाठी आज सेलिब्रिटी भी बनी, यूएन में भी गई, पर मैं वो भी दिन में देखी हूँ कि मैं सुबह 5 बजे उठ के मैं ट्रेन पकड़ के मैंने मॉडल कोऑर्डिनेशन भी किया, मैंने वो कमाटीपुरा पीला हाउस में कॉन्डम्स भी बांटती हूँ, बैठ के मैंने कॉन्डम डेमोन्स्ट्रेशंस भी दिया है, सब कुछ हमने किया, रात को 2-2 बजे तक जागे हैं और आज भी मैं करती रहती हूँ. मुझे आज भी ऐसे लगता है मैंने कुछ नहीं किया जिंदगी में. I was overwhelmed for the first time after ages. I had a tear in my eyes when Batsa was telling. I didn't do anything yet. अभी तो जिंदगी शुरुआत हुई है ना, अभी भी मैं जवान हूँ, है ना? We all have to be feeling young with our heart, but the biggest thing and a responsibility with you children are that when you see injustice, your purse is important. But when you see a minority, when you see people whose basic human existence is being taken away from them. For example, imagine वो सिग्नल पे जो हिजड़ा भीख मांगता है, हम कैसे बिहेव करते हैं कि वो है ही नहीं. वो मनुष्य होने का जिसका वजूद ही उससे छिन जाए, उससे बड़ा दुख और क्या हो सकता है, मुझे बताएं. कि I neglect all of you over here and I treat you like shit. You won't like. You say, bloody, she's a bitch. सही है ना? हाँ या ना? कोई भी बोलेगा, मैं भी बोलूँगी. घमंडी, अपनी जगह पर है. तो ये तो जिंदगी है, ये हकीकत है. पर ये एहसास के साथ हमारे लोग जीते हैं. How easy it is that you go in coffee cafe day and 100 रुपये के ऊपर you pay for a coffee. Starbucks वगैरह. And then for 50 and 100 rupees, one is selling their body in the night. कि मेरे शाम का खाना बनेगा, मेरा सुबह का खाना बनेगा. आज एक बधाई लेके जाते हैं तो अब तो बच्चे भी उतने पैदा नहीं हो रहे ना इंडिया में. एक घर में 1-2 बस हो गया, मैक्सिमम 3, है ना? अब हिजड़े इतना मांगे कि घोड़ा घास से दोस्ती कैसे करेगा यार? हम एसी रूम में बैठ के बड़ी बड़ी बातें कर सकते हैं. हम कितनों को खुद होके बोलते कि हमारे घर पे काम का जॉब कर लो, हमारे गवर्नेंस हो जाओ, केयर टेकर हो जाओ. It's easy to talk, but it's difficult to put it in practice. I really appreciate, ध्रुव, अक्षरा सामंत का नाम आपने सुना होगा. कलिंगा इंस्टीट्यूट है, उधर भी लॉ कॉलेज है उनका, ओडिशा में, भुवनेश्वर में, किस करके उनका बहुत बड़ा ये है. 27,000 plus children of Adivasis are taught free and everything. He's my son. He met me, he calls me Madhuri, he's very elder to me. Now Rajya Sabha member from Odisha. And I told him, beta, she's my chela, sadhana, well educated person. and she is fed up of doing social sector work of ye hamare rights वगैरह. She wants a change. Would you give her a job? So that person is now she's working with KISS, and she has been an ideal worker over there, a change maker. But for that you सिर्फ बोलने से नहीं होता है. Your action speaks. You give me a job, everybody won't be as good as Laxmi. Yeah, I am good. Yes. Yeah. So you know why I always एक एक्सरसाइज करती हूँ कि लड़के और लड़कियों को ना हमेशा सुबह उठ के एक ही काम करना चाहिए. 10 times while brushing, you're sexy, you're hot, I love you. मैं तो खुद बोलती हूँ लक्ष्मी यार सही है. I love myself. ये सुबह आए थे तो रात भर एसी नहीं था तो मैं एसी में नहीं सोई तो मैं अपने आप को टॉर्चर कर फील हुई. ये बच्चे लोग आए तो मैं बोली कि अब तो जाना ही पड़ेगा बाथरूम में ना, इसके लिए तुम लोग रुके पड़े थे. आप बहुत सारे टैंट्रम को दबा के रखे थे. नहीं बी अ गुड गर्ल है ना, तो गुड गर्ल बनने की कोशिश बहुत करी मैं आज. हाँ, गुड गर्ल्स गो टू हेवन एंड बैड गर्ल्स गो एवरीवेयर. अभी गुड बन के क्या मिल रहा है? मर्डर हो जाएगा, नहीं तो बलात्कार हो जाएगा. इससे अच्छा बुरे ही बन के रहो ना. There is nothing to lose if you are bad. मुझे समाज का लक्ष्मण नहीं चाहिए जो मेरी लक्ष्मण रेखा खींचे. मैं स्वयं का लक्ष्मण रेखा खींचने के लिए मेरे अंदर प्रबलता है. मेरी मर्यादा समाज नहीं तय करेगा, मैं तय करूंगी. और मेरा सम्मान इतना ऊंचा नहीं है कि कोई भी मेरा सम्मान या मेरा आत्मसम्मान मुझसे कोई छीन ले. मुझे क्या फर्क पड़ता है तुम्हें मैं अच्छी लगी या बुरी लगी. Why to bother what goes of her father? मुझे कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता. You may like me or you may hate me, है ना? You know? You can't ignore me. 6 फुट की हिजड़े को कहाँ से इग्नोर करेंगे? इच्छाधारी नागिन खूबसूरत ही होती है ना बेबी? So life is all about, recognizing your oneself. If you get that art within yourself. हम डिप्रेशन में क्या, कभी लोग बोलते हैं डिप्रेशन में चला जाता है. हाँ, वो कल ही हम कोई तो भी बात कर रहे थे डिप्रेशन के बारे में ना, गाड़ी में. हाँ, तो आई रियली लाइक दैट कि गाड़ी में मैं और प्रणव बात कर रहे थे. तो हाँ, घर में वो मजदूरी करने वाले को तो कभी डिप्रेशन नहीं होता है और उनके बच्चों को भी कुछ नहीं होता है. 2 दिन का बच्चा मिट्टी में पड़ा रहता है, खेलते रहता है. यहाँ तो जॉन्डिस भी हो जाता है, उसको बॉक्स में भी रखो, उसको ये हो गया, जॉनसन बेबी पाउडर चाहिए. मैं भी क्राइलॉन यूज करती हूँ, जर्मन ड्राफ्ट. I owned myself, मैं मम्मी डैडी का नहीं यूज करी, मैंने खुद कमाया, which I should be proud of, and which even you all should do it. अच्छे तुम लोगों की लाइफ की, अच्छे कॉलेज में पढ़ रहे हो, मम्मी डैडी इतना पैसा स्पेंड करते, बाद में अपना आधार कार्ड, मैं सब कुछ करती थी. You can't even imagine what I have done in my college. You all cannot imagine. I bet you. मतलब तुम लोग मेरा 1% भी नहीं कर सकते जो मैंने किया. I have tasted and kissed every evil thing what can be on planet Earth. But I never became addicted to anything because I believe making good. People can get addicted to me. I can't get addicted to anything. और अगर वो परब्रह्म का अंश मेरे अंदर है तो मैं किसी चीज की आदि क्यों हूं? Why anybody can put me down than my status, what I decide what I should be. Class and status is not what is your bank balance, is your behavior and your etiquette. And how much as a citizen you contribute to your own motherland. I could have made crores of rupees. Even 1% का मैं घपला करती, from the time I am working with the HIV field, I could have done, but I chose to be सत्य से बड़ा कोई तप नहीं, झूठ से बड़ा कोई पाप. By saying so, हाँ पर तुम लोग लॉयर हो, सच बोलने लगोगी तो तुम्हारी बैंड बज जाएगी. हाँ, ये कानून का खेल ही तो ऐसा है, चौरस. हाँ, am I right? No. I said if all the lawyers start speaking the truth, then bloody it will be a problem for their purses. Yeah, it cannot happen. हाँ, वो मेरे लिए ठीक है, तुम लोग के लिए नहीं. ये कलयुग है बेटा, तो कलयुग में कलयुग का असर बहुत बड़ा है. तो आप लोगों को छल बल कल ये 3 श्रृंगार रखना चाहिए. छल मतलब we are not need to lose. हम हार गए तो अपना अस्तित्व ही मिट जाएगा. But losing is again a start of a new battle of winning. Yeah, we start new because I believe there is nothing what is loss. From everything we could not achieve, I believe, I never say it's a failure or it's a loss. I have lost it. I could not achieve it. In that process, I learned a new method of achieving that target. नाक अगर ऐसे नहीं पकड़ पाई तो मैं ऐसे पकड़ूंगी, ऐसे नहीं पकड़ूंगी तो टांगों के हाथ में डाल के पकड़ूंगी, पर नाक आज नहीं तो कल जरूर पकड़ूंगी. I never give up. And one should never. Gender, sexuality. My father in one interview really I became my father's fan. He said, तब तक मैं अपने पिताजी से बड़ा मुझे ग्लानि होती थी कि मेरी लैंगिकता. My father was tall, handsome, hunk, मेजर लगते थे. तो और मैं गोरखपुर, हम तो यूपी में ही है ना अभी भी. हाँ, योगी जी भी मेरे ही शहर के हैं, गोरखपुर के, हमारे एमपी रहे हैं. He's a wonderful person, I love him. What he's blunt. He's not beating around the bushes. We know what is he. And he has the guts to portray it. इससे बड़ा और क्या चाहिए? He is transparent about himself. ये बहुत हिम्मत लगती है अपने बारे में इतनी पारदर्शीपना रखने के लिए. That what I am, भाई मैं यही हूँ. You love me or you hate me. It's my way or highway. है ना? तो उधर हमारे इधर के पानी का ही रंग वैसा ही है. तो मैं भी उधर ही की हूँ. तो I had to always that ग्लानि मतलब मुझे लगता था कि my sexuality is so much of an insult for my father. तो रूपा झा करके एक बहुत अच्छी BBC में आज भी है, आंगन के पार का वो एक ऐसा रेडियो शो करती थी. और उस रेडियो शो में उन्होंने मेरे पिताजी से, वो झा थी, मैं त्रिपाठी, शी यूज दैट, है ना, गाँव एक ही भोजपुरी. तो इंटरव्यू ले लिए पहली बार मेरे पिताजी से. तो उन्होंने पूछा मेरे पिताजी को, तिवारी जी, my father used to write Tiwari, Tripathi, Trivedi, we all are one. Modernization of surname is also happened in our culture. And then she asked the question, तिवारी जी आपको कैसे लगता है, आपका सबसे बड़ा बेटा हिजड़ा है, आपको क्या लगता है? तो my father without hesitation said, मेरे बेटे की लैंगिकता उसकी बेडरूम में. कोई पढ़े लिखे या अनपढ़ माँ बाप कभी अपने बच्चों के बेडरूम में जाके नहीं देखते कि उनका बेटा या बेटी क्या कर रहा है. मेरे लिए लक्ष्मी नारायण त्रिपाठी मेरा बच्चा है. वो अपने आप को क्या मानता है वो उसकी मर्जी, पर मेरे लिए लक्ष्मी नारायण त्रिपाठी इज माय चाइल्ड. आई वाज लाइक वाव. It takes guts to accept a child. The child is. I said about my mother, क्योंकि वो पहली प्रॉब्लम ऐसे बच्चे होते ना थोड़े जो बॉक्सेस में नहीं बैठते, तो सबसे बड़ी पहली गाली किसको जाती है? माँ को. औरत है ना सबसे सॉफ्ट, क्योंकि हमने अपनी औरतों को अपने आप से प्यार सिखाना भुला दिए. परिस्थितियों ने ऐसे हमारे कल्चर को टर्न किया. I am so proud of my culture that we come from that culture. एक द्रौपदी का वस्त्र हरण होता है तो स्वयं नारायण आके खड़े होते हैं कि वो नारी निर्वस्त्र ना हो जाए. और तब ये माना जाता है कि धर्म का नाश हुआ है. तब होता है महाभारत, 100 पुत्रों का पूरा कुल का विनाश होता है और किन्नर के कंधों पे रख के धर्म को स्थापित किया जाता है, क्योंकि अगर शिखंडी नहीं रहते तो भीष्म पितामह का वध नहीं होता और धर्म वापस स्थापित नहीं होता। वहां पे भी जस्टिस देने के लिए ट्रांसजेंडर वाज देयर। ये इतिहास रहा है। एंड देन धर्म को स्थापित किया गया और महाभारत के बाद कलयुग का प्रवेश होता है। राजा परीक्षित के मुकुट से कलयुग का एंट्री होता है, सोने में कलयुग प्रवेश करते हैं। अब लाइफ फॉर अस, यू नो how it feels when you're considered transparent. The biggest sorrow in this world is the sorrow of felt that you're unwanted and unloved. मैं लक्ष्मी हूँ और मैं ऐसी हूँ, तो मेरे ऐसे होने की वजह से मेरे माँ बाप ने मुझे इतना मजबूर कर दिया या एहसास दिला दिया that I'm not the part of your family, so I myself only leave the house and go. और because my elder brother is beating me to the heck, कि उसके दोस्त लोग बोलते यार तेरे घर में मिट्टा है, होमो है, गुड़ है, चाशनी है, छक्का है, तो वो इतने प्रेशर में आके वो बच्चे को घर से बाहर फेंक देते। वो बच्चा स्ट्रीट्स पे जाता है, उसका लैंगिक शोषण होता है, वो एक वड़ा पाव के लिए, एक रोटी के लिए भी 4 जन के नीचे सोना पड़ता है, हाथ फैला के भीख मांगना पड़ता है, उसका पूरा वजूद खत्म हो जाता है। मनुष्य होने का एज ए ह्यूमन दैट पर्सन ओनली व्हाई बिकॉज मैं ऐसे हूं, मुझे ऐसे ही रहना है। माँ के आंचल सिमट के रह जाते हैं उसे पिता और भाइयों के और पुरुष प्रधान समाज के अंदर, और वो बच्चे बाद में लोग कहते हैं हिजड़े ताली बजाते हैं, नंगे होते, ये ऐसे करते, हाय हाय तुम करो चमत्कार हम करे बलात्कार, है ना? मुझे लोग कहते ना लक्ष्मी जी why they beg, no you should do something for them. I said baby you have crores of rupees, you're an industrialist, hello, you're telling me how many guts do you have? You have such a big bloody buildings, keep an administrator as a hijra, keep a security officer as a hijra. मैं रेलवे मिनिस्टर को बोली प्रभु जब थे कि एक बटालियन बनाओ, ट्रेनिंग दो, गवर्नमेंट जॉब दो और ट्रांसजेंडर्स को लेडीज कंपार्टमेंट में रखो सिक्योरिटी के लिए। किसी मर्द के अंदर हिम्मत नहीं होगी अंदर पैसा। I always believe there should be, you know, गवर्नमेंट को कुछ नहीं करना चाहिए, लॉ भी मत बदलो, है ना? जितने भी बलात्कार करते ना, एक ट्रेंड पूरा सेल बनाओ जहां इंट्रोगेशन से ट्रांसजेंडर्स लेंगे। वाह, जिंदगी में मर्द बलात्कार करना भूल जाएगा, ना रहेगी बात ना बजेगी बांसुरी। It is necessary till we as Indians don't teach our children to respect every gender. हमारा इतिहास रहा है, हम इतने सुंदर इतिहास के धनी हैं। We are custodian. After me, you all are custodians of my culture, of my rich history. कि ये पूरा ये वेस्टर्नाइज्ड क्या वेस्टर्न रहेंगे, तो क्या पता है वेस्टर्न, खजुराहो और ये सब जाके देखो, हमसे ज्यादा वेस्टर्न ये लोग क्या बताएंगे हमको। Bloody we were so western कि वस्त मुनि जाके एक गणिका के इधर बैठ के कामा सूत्र लिखते हैं। आदि शंकराचार्य का किताब देखिए जो काम पे, काम शास्त्र पे, आदि शंकराचार्य, हम उनको मतलब हिंदू धर्म को वापस स्थापित, हिंदू नहीं, हिंदू इज लेटर, सनातन धर्म को स्थापित करने में शंकराचार्य प्रभु जैसा व्यक्ति नहीं, और उनको भी काम के बारे में पता होना था, क्योंकि मेरा धर्म कहता है ऑल द 4 पॉइंट्स, धर्म, अर्थ, शास्त्र, का मोक्ष, काम। एंड व्हाट We have got even for love. और बाद में आज यहाँ पे वो मॉरल पुलिसिंग होता है कि लड़का लड़की पार्क में घूमना नहीं चाहिए। लाठी, तुम कौन से हिंदू धर्म और कौन से हिंदुत्व के बारे में बोल रहे हो? कौन सा सनातन धर्म में ऐसे थे जहाँ पे एक औरत स्वयं डिसाइड करती कि मैं स्वयंवर किसके साथ करूं? जहाँ माँ लक्ष्मी सागर से जब मंथन होके बाहर निकलती तो वो वैकुंठ को चुनती हैं कि नारायण ही मुझे धारण कर पाए। We come from that culture, जो कल्चर कहा कि नारी की कोई जात नहीं है। रावण की माँ राक्षसनी थी और वो एक ब्राह्मण पुरुष से शादी करती है। कुंती 4 देवों को बुला के पांडव कहते ना, पांडव के बच्चे माद्री और कुंती, पांडव की 2 बीवियां, 4 देवों से 5 मतलब एक कर्ण भी थे ना, पर आज भी कौनते कहते उनको पांडव पुत्र कहते। Nobody has the guts to assassinate that woman's character. सत्यवती कौन थी? सास थी, शांतनु की बीवी सत्यवती। Her sons die and there are widow daughter-in-law, so she calls Rishi Vyas. And then Bhishma asked, why only Rishi Vyas? She says, he is my son, Bhrigu Putra. She was Matsya, she used to take vote, and because of that, Bhrigu ने उनको bless किया तो उनको child हुआ, that is Vyas Muni. She calls Vyas to make the heir to the throne and nobody questioned her or her daughter-in-law. हमारी morality नैतिकता थी ही नहीं हमारे इधर. We were above morality. And today we only talk about morality. कि लड़कियां जीन्स पहनती तो उनका बलात्कार होता है. ऐसे leaders को तो ना we are shameless as a society that we have started selling our votes. What will talk about justice? We are shameless that we have not taught our children the cost of democracy, on what level of independence we have got. Hundreds and hundreds of years of slavery. For you generation means having a debate कि वंदे मातरम बोलना चाहिए कि नहीं बोलना चाहिए. In country like India, we are shameless bloody society that we even talk about our national anthem. I really appreciate those kingdoms in this country. अभी बैंकॉक के बारे में national anthem हो, जहाँ की गाड़ी रुक जाएगी, वही मतलब है. People just stand quietly. There is no discussion. Today we even discuss upon patriotism. Then what will talk about law? What will talk about access? मतलब हमारी तो बात बहुत दूर तक की है. आज अभी ट्रांसजेंडर बिल 2 बिल पड़ा है पार्लियामेंट में. अब पार्लियामेंट चलेगा तो कुछ तो काम होगा. आज इंडिया का बजट भी विदाउट डिस्कशन पास हो जाता है, तो हम अपने देश को कहाँ लेके जा रहे हैं? Only glamorizing politics doesn't mean that we will get success. We will get success when we contribute in the society to make the society a better place for every human being. For me, I can go on and on and on, but I believe that even you all should ask me certain questions. Otherwise, it will become a lot of unromantic situation. है ना? तो what else I wanted to tell you all? Love yourself. It's very easy to taunt people. It's very easy to discriminate. It's very easy to say कि वो बुरा है, वो चरित्रहीन है, वो कैसा है. हमें पहले अपने आप को शीशे में देख लेना चाहिए. मैं तो ये भी नहीं सोच रहा, मेरे सब अच्छे ही हैं बाबा, अपने को क्या लेने देना. You are happy? I always say, how do I look? Even you are beautiful. I'm like that. I'm like a mirror. You're beautiful, I'm beautiful. बस बात उधर ही खत्म. I don't need to judge anybody. You should be happy with each other. And you know, when in my school and college, of course, by college तक पहुँचने तक तो I was notorious. मेरे seniors भी डरते थे मुझसे. अब वो danger थी ना, मैं रंगीला की दूसरी उर्मिला मातोंडकर. I was shocked to this. अभी सोचती तो मुझे भी हार्ट अटैक आता है कि मैं ऐसे कपड़े पहन के कॉलेज जाती थी. मिटी बाई कॉलेज ऐसे शॉर्ट माइक्रो मिनी हॉट पैंट्स, हंटर शूज. तभी हाँ बिंदास. मेरी एक बार सर ने बोला why do you apply lipstick? मैं बोली सर आपकी बीवी के साथ आपका झगड़ा हुआ क्या? मेरे पास 3 पड़ा है. And that will make my India a very big place. हाँ जी. लड़कियां ही पूछ रही हैं, लड़कों के पास दिमाग नहीं है क्या? Or you mesmerized, huh, boys? Yes, darling baby.
मेरा based है sex education में. And what is your take on that? कि sex education क्या compulsory होना चाहिए?
होना चाहिए बेटा. लड़कों को मतलब everything should be known. How to, because if you know what is sex education, HIV ratio कम होगा, sexually transmitted infection के बारे में आप लोगों को जानकारी होगी, क्योंकि अगर sexually transmitted infections को आप जल्दी ट्रीट करोगे तो आप HIV से दूर रहते हो. सिफिलिस है, बहुत सारी ऐसी बीमारियां हैं जो sexual intercourse and without having the right knowledge about sexuality, gender होता है. और हर एक चीज का नॉलेज इज गुड. जब हमारे एंसेस्टर्स अपने बच्चों को देते थे सब नॉलेज काम शास्त्र के बारे में, तो ये युग में हम क्यों नहीं दे अपने बच्चों को नॉलेज काम शास्त्र के बारे में? एंड आई बिलीव दैट चिल्ड्रन हैव द राइट आफ्टर. अभी आप एक वेरी सिंपल, तुम लोग स्कूल में सब लोग किसी ने सेक्स एजुकेशन पढ़ा? नो ना. अभी इसमें से कितने वर्जिन होंगे ये खुद के दिल को पता होगा ना. Because by that time even I had 10 boyfriends, so I don't mean everybody would have had, but we all have tasted the venom, the apple of Adam's apple. We all have tasted it, but it is good that children are taught in the school what is sex education, which will give them the sensibility to make a right choice, and they won't be confused. क्या हो गया बेबी? वो बात खत्म हो गई, आगे बढ़ रहे हैं. तो it is necessary that people will have the right. If you have education, you get the right platform to make your own decisions. You won't be a confused person.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, baby. हाँ, वो लड़का वहाँ से बात.
What role can the government play in changing the current perception?
What current? There is too much of current.
Regarding the current news of the incidents and also with regards to the
Capital punishment. Capital punishment is the answer. Capital punishment, because after today's morning, I was totally against capital punishment. But today, what I saw on internet, that people after rape, after that girl, 8 years girl was killed, our society even has the guts in India to trend upon porn site as her name is the toppest. It's shameful. Then what else you want? तुम ऐसे ब्लातों के भूत बातों से नहीं मानते बेबी. 2 जन फांसी पे टांगी जाएंगे बीच चौराहे पे, तभी समाज सुधरेगा. Whichever politician says anything against women, कि ये जीन्स ये वैसी हैं, उनको पावर में रहना ही नहीं चाहिए. We shouldn't vote to such politicians.
Ma'am, this thing. Ma'am,
Hi, cute. He's faculty?
Yeah.
मुझे भी एडमिशन चाहिए दो.
I taught them women and law in the class. I mean, not many of them are here, they have passed out. But yes, I have a question for you. You talked about employment opportunities to transgenders. आप education और healthcare के बारे में भी थोड़ा सा बता दें कि how much, because I have never seen a a transgender getting proper opportunity for traditional education? And secondly, as far as healthcare is concerned, we are totally oblivious. We don't know how the healthcare department or how the hospitals treat the transgenders when they come there for treatment.
See, the HIV sector, the HIV National Program is one of the robust programs which is run by the National AIDS Control Society of India, and it has, it's under the Ministry of Health. So, because of HIV, whether it is gay rights, whether it is transgender rights, sex workers' rights, drug users' rights, came in existence in this country. Even Section 377, excuse me, even Section 377's whole fight started after HIV. So the whole system, the sensitized situation at this country at present is, I need it in my class, is the medical sector. And after the judgment, because the medical sector is too smart, doctors have a lot of brains, no? Beautification is one of the feminization, and beautification of your own body is the hottest product, and it's very costly, all the surgeries, whether it is your lips, to your cheeks, to your breast, to your everything, you know, is costing a bomb. So doctors are very sensitive for every transgender people, because they वो सोने के अंडे देने वाली मुर्गियां हैं ना, डॉक्टर के पास जाएंगे तो. और public health sector में there is proper perspective now, and I believe now ICMR is the agency which decides the education of the graduate and postgraduate doctors. So they will be including one chapter of transgender health. Because as much there is acceptability, the lack of knowledge and expertise is less in this country. And jobs like one of my chelas, who is the head of the community in Pondicherry, there is Mahatma Gandhi Institute. She's the head of the community, but there are 10 people who are working in Mahatma Gandhi Institute. She is administrator of the entire building. Procurement officer is a transgender. The trustees are so happy after she came as a procurement officer. बोले हमारे लाखों रुपए ना घपला होते थे. Procurement में होता है ना कुछ commission और but बोले ये जब से आई है हमारा पूरा सब system सही है. So trust is always there, and people are proving it by their own what we say, being an idol. Thank you, sir. Sir, आपने नाम नहीं बताया. Omar. Salaam alaikum. दाढ़ी इतने हंस रहे हो तुम. अच्छा, कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं है? हाँ, maybe ask me. अच्छा, you ask. And the fourth book which I am writing, Mothers with Sins, that how 10 years ago when mothers accepted their transgender children, what हमारी दर्द की बारे में लोग जाना, पर हमसे ज़्यादा हमारे माँ बाप ने दर्द झेला है, तो वो भी कहानियाँ समाज को आने. तो that book also I am writing. And then I thought I wanted to be, मतलब मुझे सब कुछ सच बताना था ज़माने को, तो तब तक सच का सामना सीरियल आया. They asked me to be on it. So mine was the longest 3-day show, the most controversial one. जो चाही वो करी मैंने. हाँ, मैं सिर्फ ये religion वर्ल्ड में नहीं आना चाहती थी, वो प्रभु ने मुझे भेज दिया. But I did everything. मैं कोई चीज़ जो बनना है वो बन के ही दम ली. Because nothing is impossible, baby. जब मैं हिजड़ा होके मैं ही कर सकती हूँ, तुम लोग मर्द औरत हो, इतना तुम लोग क्या नहीं कर सकते. और एक ही चीज़ में अपने अंदर के आत्मविश्वास को कभी खोई नहीं. I believed I can do and I did it. हुक और क्रुक, इसके लिए when you heard me, I always say believe. हम सब कुछ कर सकते. क्या कहते हैं ना वो, तकदीर ऊपर वाला देता है, अपने तकदीर से अपने तकदीर को संवारना चाहिए. आज गुरु भी इधर बैठे हैं, what is he, 31 age, but his father has created, but he is trying to create much more beyond that, no? And he is bloody working hard. And again, if your parents have entrusted in you, you should never break the trust. है ना जी? हाँ, पीछे कोई तो भी, हाँ.
My question is related to Section 377 of RDHANARISHWARA. Supreme Court is reconsidering it on privacy rights. I want to know your opinion on it.
It should go. POCSO hai na. When POCSO has come into existence, Section 377 has to go. Because if you see when Section 377 was introduced, what is, according to nature, what nature, Vikruti evam Prakriti Rigved says, there is nothing what is unnatural and natural, rubbish. And the countries which came from the Church of England, they went and changed it. It was all about power. हमें क्या जरूरत ब्रिटिशरों का और बोझा ढूंढने के लिए? वैसे तो it has to go because we have different laws which is protecting everybody into it. है ना? What is according to you? High five. हाँ जी बोले. हाँ मेरे भी दिल दुख रहे हैं. अरे हिंदी में बोले ना, हमारी भी हिंदी अच्छी है.
जिस तरह की घटनाएं घट रही हैं इस टाइम देश में, लाइक जैसे जम्मू कश्मीर, गुजरात एंड नाउ, तो उस चीज को लेकर अगर आपको सजा देनी हो उन दोषी मानसिकता वाले लोगों को, तो आप क्या करेंगे?
उनको बीच चौराहे पे ले जाके मार डालना चाहिए. हम हिंदू सभी सनातन धर्म से हो और शक्ति रूपी त्रिपुर सुंदरी ने ऐसे राक्षसों का वध किया है, तो ऐसे राक्षसों का वध होना चाहिए, है ना? और अगर धर्म, चाहे कोई भी धर्म हो, जब ऐसे लोगों का वो मनुष्य ही नहीं, वो सही रूप में राक्षस है. आप कहाँ के हो? मिर्जापुर. हमरे लगे कहब का. आपको भी गोरखपुर का है, तो हमरे लगे ही है ना मिर्जापुर. अरे हाँ, हमार कुल देवी हुई है ना, विंध्याचल भगवती. अरे जय हो, जय भारत. लव यू. हाँ बोली जी, हाँ बोली. मैं दूसरे के लिए, खुद के लिए जस्टिस करती हूँ ना मैं. हाँ तो अगर मेरे लिए मुझे लगता है कि ये चीज गलत है, भाई है, तुम एक औरत हो के क्यों, मतलब why can't you deny? Why only this man has that right? It can never, you cannot decide which movement. It is you what you feel. As a woman, when you feel today that what is happening to the girls across the country is bad, you should go and find 10 PILs in the court of Supreme Court of India and say that if I as a girl in this country is not feeling safe, we want capital punishment to teach and to get the society back to its track. For at least 10 years, keep a capital punishment on rape. Give a time limit for the capital punishment. अगर 100 ये जितनी भी लड़के यहाँ के जाकर लेटर ही लिखो चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ इंडिया को, it will be a big change. We all are change makers. Change is inevitable, it will happen. And if you want to be an agent of it, it is you who has to be decided. And for that, you have to build in your inner conscious so strong that you get that realization what is right and what is wrong according to your own inner soul. Okay. I love you, baby. Mama loves you. Mama loves you. हाँ बेटा.
Hello मैम. Actually सबसे पहले मैं एक चीज एक्सपीरियंस शेयर करना चाहूँगी मैम कि हम लोगों ने बहुत सारी कॉन्फ्रेंसेस की हैं, ऑलमोस्ट बहुत सारी, हम लोग फर्स्ट ईयर्स में हैं. तो मैम बहुत सारी कॉन्फ्रेंसेस बोरिंग टाइप होती थी, मतलब वी वर लिटरली हम लोग पीछे बैठते थे, सोचते थे कि पीछे ही बैठना है, हम लोगों को ने मतलब मजा नहीं आता था. बट आज मैम ये कॉन्फ्रेंस ना हम अटेंड करें, आगे बैठ के वी आर वेरी ग्लैड टू हियर यू. मैम एक एक्सपीरियंस पूछना है मुझे आपसे कि मैम व्हिच इज द बेस्ट मोटिवेटिंग experience in your life which motivated you a
मैं याद कर रही हूँ. हाँ, what motivated me in the social sector I can understand. ज़ीनत करके मेरी बहन है कम्युनिटी में, हमेशा बाहर मिलते थे. मैं दाई वेलफेयर सोसाइटी के प्रेसिडेंट बनी और इवैल्यूएशन हुआ. तो मैं कमाटीपुरा में पहली हुई कांजीवरम पहनी, बनारसी का ने कांजीवरम गोल्डन कलर का, लॉट ऑफ ज्वेलरी, परसोनी लिपस्टिक 1 फ्री, 1200 की परसोनी लिपस्टिक मिलती थी, है ना. मूनलेस नाइट्स, कॉफी, दैट वाज द बेस्ट कलर ऑफ आवर टाइम. आई यूज्ड टू रियली अप्लाई दैट. मैं जाती हूँ तो ब्रॉथेल में वो सीढ़ियों पे चढ़ के जाती हूँ. तो वो सीढ़ियों पे चढ़ के जाती हूँ मैं ब्रॉथेल में, और मुझे वो क्यूबिकल्स में जाने से रोकते, बोलते माई आप इधर आओ ना. मैंने कभी I have never sold my body, but whomever I liked I would have slept with, more than even a sex worker would have slept. So I'm proud about it. So I'm never judgmental. Sex work is work and I appreciate that. But for the transgender I say that they are being pushed in the world of sex work by the society because there is no 100 doors open. If there is 100 opportunities open and still you choose sex work, I really appreciate that. The person should be legal to accept sex work as work, and I believe in decriminalization of sex work, not legalization of sex work, because legalization will again have its own complications around it. Now I enter the sex brothel, so I was denied to be there, but मैं अपनी वो बहन को इसको तो मैं चली गई. तो वो जो बिस्तर रहता है जहाँ पे छोटे छोटे क्यूबिकल्स बने रहते हैं, तो मैं ऐसे बैठने जा रही थी गद्दे पे. तब तक हमारी कम्युनिटी में बहुत है ना जो जिसने कभी धंधा नहीं किया, तो वो अलग क्लास सब में होता है. तो बोले रुको रुको गुरु आत्मा बेटो, गुरु मेरी मारेगी. तो उसने तुरंत वो चादर खींचा और फ्रेश चादर बिछा. बोले गुरु आप मत बैठो ना, दादी मेरे को मारेगी, ज़ीनत का पूछी. मैं बैठने दे मुझे देखना. And I was very intrigued, no, I've never seen such thing. तो मैं उससे बात करते करते मैं बोली बेटा अच्छा धंधे पे है. बोली कितना मिलता होगा? तो बोली गुरु आजकल HIV का ये बीमारी जो आया है इतना बड़ा, तो कभी 50 रुपए, कभी 20 रुपए, कभी 100 रुपए. मतलब I felt like that, you know, for a minute, even when I see today also, जैसे पेट में से होता है ना, मतलब 20, 50, 100, I felt ashamed of myself कि मैं 1200 की लिपस्टिक लगा. And I'm a president of that organization which works for transgender. तो वो साड़ी भी मुझे चुभने लगी थी उसको, कि where am I? और जबकि वो लोग मुझे दूसरे फंक्शंस में मिलते थे, हैप्पी गो लकी, ऐसे पता ही नहीं था कि ऐसी भी जिंदगी. That was the turning point. I said nothing to it, कि I cannot tolerate this. मैं भी हिजड़ा हूँ, वो भी हिजड़ा है. तो जब मेरे माँ बाप ने, चलो इनके माँ बाप ने निकाले, पर इनकी मतलब इतना शोषण तो नहीं ना. मैं जो चीज हूँ और वैसे रहने के लिए मैं समाज पे इतना बड़ा कीमत तो नहीं अदा कर. That started, and social sector का जो एक बार इंजेक्शन लग जाता है वो बहुत वो छूटता नहीं. तो वो वैसे ही है. दिन वो रात को सोते वक्त ये सुकून रहता था कि मैंने इसकी मदद कर दी है, तो मैं सो जाती थी चैन की नींद. मैंने ये काम कर लिया है, मुझे खुद को ही अच्छा लगता था. और वही वो सिनारियो में मैं खुद से प्यार करना भी सीखा. I always say decision taken at that junction of time was right, so even it is right today. And I have lived with my decisions and principles, so I never regret in my life. जो और कोई पीछे अब बच्चे रुकिए ना जी, वो पीछे वाला. हाँ दोनों चश्मे से क्यूट है.
मैम मैं जब एंड मैं आपसे पहले तो ये कहना चाहता हूँ,
इतने सारे लोग यहाँ पर हैं and they are all of my generation. And Rahul, he's my classmate. He asked such a big question कि क्या करना चाहिए. आपने बहुत प्यारा सा आंसर दिया and I felt good कि हाँ capital punishment is the punishment which should be given.
With the time period.
Yes,
and it has to be reviewed again.
But ma'am, so I should say that हाँ मेरी generation के पास एक perception है जो शायद उन rapist generation के पास में नहीं है. We all have a
They are younger to you also, better जो rape किए.
One was younger to me.
But still, one is enough. One rotten apple spoils the entire basket.
I know, but majority of us has a perception now. But हम लोग अभी parental way में नहीं आए, मतलब हम parents नहीं बने हैं. We are all just the teenagers. It's an aggression. हमें अपने बच्चों को क्या सिखाना चाहिए? How shall we start teaching them?
That our education system needs to change. We should get out of the colonial system. Our education, मैं बता रही हूँ, what has to be done? You asked me. I'm giving you points. I know what has to be done. You should ask the education ministry to change the syllabus and make it gender neutral. Teach them how to respect every gender. हमारे ज़माने में रहता था कि moral science के civics था, ये सब subjects गायब हो चुके हैं आजकल पूरे. नहीं वो सब नहीं है ना. It's all have gone. At least in our generation we know so much. My generation we had this subject. Your generation you didn't have this subject. Education will only change the system. Capital punishment इसके लिए क्योंकि जब तक ये it is necessary to set an example. In India, it is a time where India has to show that their daughters, their mothers, their sisters, their to-be daughters, their wives are safe. Because from Nirbhaya till the date, it is nothing has happened, and if anything has to happen, we have to change the entire system of this. Judiciary cannot be मतलब क्या कहते हैं उसे justice को हिंदी में क्या कहते हैं? न्याय पाने की प्रक्रिया मेरे आंगन की वो तवायफ नहीं हो सकती ना कि जैसे चाहूँ मैं वैसे न चाहूँ, तो वो तवायफ की लड़की ही है. तो हमने न्याय को भी वैसे ही बना लिया है ना, जस्टिस को भी उसे ही बना लिया है. वो देवी नहीं रह गई कि बलात्कारी को हम घर में से बाहर फेंक देते, उनको प्रोटेक्ट कर रहे हैं. 16 साल के लड़के को अक्ल नहीं है क्या वो क्या कर रहे हैं? Come on यार, when you know at that age you know everything. At that age I knew everything. I had a steady boyfriend that time. Yeah, yes. So it's okay. But I always say capital punishment is a period line, and it has to be revisited again. And you all have to tell me, no? I can go on and on.
Arranged marriage is a legal way to rape. I would love to, I will love to empower these girls not to mix up their identity after they get married. Because they
You know one thing, आप लोग बातें कर लो तो मैं बात कर लूँ आगे. वो चश्मिश पीछे हो गई बात. I'm telling you, boy. I know. So, this I have seen. Higher the class you go, that much of stigma women faces in the family. और वो उतनी चुप रहती हैं. With money and power, I believe the access to justice becomes more bleak. And I have seen innumerable cases because Majlish, अगर आपको पता होगा, you know Majlish, Flavia, Agnes and all, they are very close friends of mine. And I have worked with many organizations like that. I've seen many top lawyers who are giving justice to women from the highest cadre of society, economically higher. So, whatever you become in life, boys and girls, Don't let your dignity be raped by anyone. Only physical rape is not rape. People can rape your dignity also. Don't allow. You deny. Nahi was the word. I thank all of you. All अच्छा आप
Last question. One last question.
किसको पूछना है? Then I last question. अच्छा बिल्कुल तुमने पूछ लिया बा तू बाद में पूछ नहीं
One last question.
Three. कौन?
I'm fangirling so hard right now.
She's a faculty.
The first thing I told Pranav sir when I got to know that you were coming is I want to meet her. I'll serve tea. I don't care. That is how big a fan I am of you.
I love you.
I love you too. You don't know how much I love you. And you set me free in so many ways in this 1 hour. I've been looking at you. You're the most beautiful woman in this entire world.
शर्म आ गई।
And there's one question I want to ask you. I have a younger brother who's 4 years younger to me. I have some beautiful kids that I'm teaching. These are my naughty ones. So I want to ask you. I understand. We've gone. Every one of us, all of us. I might add 8 out of 10 girls are molested in all of us have been molested. It's a very normal thing now. As horrible as it is. Exactly. So I understand and I am all for acceptance, I'm all for liberation. But I have a younger brother, I have students. I want to know what should my reaction be if someone comes and tells me that this is what they're facing and this is what they're going through. I understand that I have to be accepting, but we have a certain...
You have to really act to the wisest way. Because this is a very tacky situation.
Exactly.
कि कोई मुझे आके बोले and that person doesn't want to go to police. ऐसा भी situation. तो वो तो उस घर में जाओ, उसको पकड़ के जो भी कुछ कर रहे हैं उसको पटके दो, है ना? मैंने किया है और उसके घर के सामने बिठा के उसको बोलो. Because हमारा जो system है ना, family system, घर का नाम, परिवार का ये, परिवार का वो, there are so many cases which will never get reported. There is, but as you can teach this generation कि हमारे बच्चे हमारे परिवार गया खड्डे में, हमने पैदा किया है हमारे बच्चों, इनकी सेफ्टी हमारी धर्म यही है कि ये मेरा है तो मुझे इसको एक जब प्रकृति अपने बच्चों को संभालती है, चाहे वो मुर्गी के बच्चे हो, चाहे वो हिरन हो, चाहे वो कोई भी हो, अपने बच्चों को सब संभालते हैं. So our children's protection and their well-being is our responsibility, and we have to be sensitive enough to see to it that we safeguard. This is the way society will change. और कोई तरीका ही नहीं. मैं भी मजबूर, तुम भी मजबूर. हाँ बेबी, with the pink shirt. वो एक लड़का वहाँ पे भी था ना. हाँ बेबी. देखिए आप और एक होता है वो फैकल्टी का क्वेश्चन was not a question.
When I was watching the documentary of Nirbhaya case and this Ma'am, as a woman, I understand, I totally understand and feel, I think I completely feel while watching that documentary. And that man was saying rubbish, totally rubbish, and I could feel what kind of agony that women have been through. So you as a woman, you have come you have come so far, and being a transgender, you only mentioned that अगर transgender खड़ा रहता है traffic signal के बगल में हम उसको ignore करते हैं. And being a transgender and a woman and you came so far. Now my question is, was there someone that you wished that he or she should come by you, he should be standing by your side? Was there someone that you learned from very much in your life? Was there?
you know, when I told about my sexuality to my parents, so at the time, I never thought whether my parents will accept me or not, but as life changed, I always thought my parents should understand me. And my parents did understand me. My friends, I had only one childhood friend, he's still my friend. And people stood by me. But I had the guts to speak about myself. When you speak genuinely about your pain or about what you're going through, there are very good human beings around you. My friends, my colleagues, and everybody just stood with me. But even see, when even you are talking, with that pain, you could not even express. As a lawyer, you all have to learn to express bluntly to the core. And when you as a human will express your pain, people will stand for you. 2 more questions. One is you. No.
Shreya.
मतलब आपने ये बताया कि इंडियन कल्चर बिकॉज जो भी प्रॉब्लम हमारी सोसाइटी में है वो मेनली इसीलिए है बिकॉज हम अपना कल्चर नहीं जानते और हमें जिस तरीके से सिखाया जाता है दिमाग में डाला जाता है बिकॉज पॉलिटिशियंस वगैरह क्या करें बिकॉज हमें कुछ नहीं पता अपने बारे में या अपने मतलब अब जिस कंट्री में हम रह रहे हैं हमें कुछ नहीं पता उसके बारे में तो मैम जब तक हमें सिखाया नहीं जाएगा कॉलेजेस में स्कूल्स में मतलब इवन आई वाज आल्सो नॉट लाइक बिलीव इन व्हिच यू टोल्ड अस टुडे तो मैम आपको नहीं लगता कि स्कूल में कॉलेजेस में मतलब इस चीज के बारे में बताना चाहिए कि क्या हमारा कल्चर रहा है क्या उसके रूट्स हैं
प्रॉब्लम ये ना बेटा सबसे बड़ी बात क्या है ये मैं चाहती हूँ कि इसके लिए मैं यहाँ आके बोल रही हूँ मैं चाहती हूँ कि हमारा सही कल्चर और हमारी ये जो मोरालिटी आई डोंट वांट माय वैदिक सनातन धर्म को किसी पॉलिटिकल पार्टी की जरूरत नहीं है सनातन धर्म किसी की रंग के झंडे के नीचे कोई पॉलिटिकल पार्टी मेरा धर्म क्यों आजकल तो इतना सबसे बुरी बात है कि हम स्वयं प्रभु राम को एक पॉलिटिकल फिगर बना दिए हैं इससे बड़ा विडंबना और क्या हो सकता है हमारे देश के लिए and we as youngsters are following it blindly where is our conscience gone and this motherland has always accepted everybody but today is the time when there is so much of means ये हिंदू है ये मुस्लिम है ये सिख है ये ईसाई है ये दलित है ये श्रवण है तो दलित या शूद्र सोच है हमारे वेदास में वर्ण संकल्प ये नहीं था My Vedas and Upanishads were cast in later on. So I always believe that we should go back to our roots. अगर हम भारतीय हैं और वो रूट्स पे मत जाओ जो कोई पॉलिटिकल पार्टी का एजेंडा है हम अगर हमें असली धर्म पता करना है 50 बुक्स से वैदिक सनातन धर्म के वो पढ़ो यू विल कम टू नो व्हाट इज हिंदू उसमें ये भी लिखा लोग बीफ खाते थे उसमें वो भी लिखा वो सब कुछ करते थे अगर वो बलि चढ़ाते थे तो पहले बलि का आहार वो ब्राह्मण को खाना पड़ता वो ब्राह्मण और ये सारा ये तो पॉलिटिकली ये जब सत्ता की भूख बढ़ी तब वर्ण वो ये दलित और ये ऑल द 4 वर्णास केम इन सत्ता की भूख बढ़ी तो ये अछूत है मैं ब्राह्मण हूँ हम सब मनुष्य हैं हम सब आत्माएं We are starting Shiv Shakti Vidyapith. Dr. Mahamandaleshwar Dr. Shiv Priya will be leading it. We are starting that institution. We will be doing courses for it. But actually, we're in a country where the education system it's in question mark. मैंने कहा ना, जो हम education करते हैं वो कभी real life में use ही नहीं हो पाता इंडिया. It's such a big gap. और बाद में हम प्रधानमंत्री कुशल योजना चलाते हैं तो क्यों पहले से ही कुशल योजना चलाएंगे ना तो बच्चे इतना साल वेस्ट नहीं करे अपने लाइफ का है ना क्यों एक्स्ट्रा पैसा हम डाल रहे हैं एक क्लास ओ वाव व्हाट अ हंग स्टैंडिंग देयर विद अ हैंड ऑन द वेस्ट
My question is, every incident happening in India, why it is given a name of religion? Why religion comes after all in the end?
Because we are following that. हम वोटिंग वैसे करते हैं, जात, पात और धर्म पे। मंडल आयोग ने रिजर्वेशन जाति पे नहीं किया था। वीपी सिंह ने जब मंडल आयोग को ये कहा था तो रिजर्वेशन वाज डन ऑन socio-economic background. But the politicians, for their bloody benefits, created a caste-based reservation which has spoiled our country. मैं जब सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा कि इनको ओबीसी और इनको रिजर्वेशन, मुझे रिजर्वेशन चाहिए ही नहीं। हम इंटरनेट पे कि हम अपना वजूद खुद स्थापित कर लेंगे। रिजर्वेशन यू गिव टू दिस men and women. I don't want reservation. क्या है प्रॉब्लम? रिजर्वेशन का ड्रामा इज सो बैड कि मुझे अफसोस होता है कि दलितों के नेता अपने ही समाज को आगे नहीं बढ़ने दिए, सिर्फ उनके परिवार ही बढ़ते गए। क्यों भाई? आरक्षण तो सबके लिए था। मुलायम सिंह का पूरा परिवार पॉलिटिक्स में है और कोई नहीं। यादों के उनके आजू बाजू उनके आसपास के 50 गांवों में उनके लेवल का नेता उन्होंने कहां बनाया सेकेंड लेवल लीडरशिप? मायावती को क्या जरूरत है अपने भाई को लाने के लिए? उनके समाज से किसी दूसरे बच्चे को लेके आते। Problem is with the leaders. लालू प्रसाद के एक बेटा जब बोलता है माइक पर से, वो क्या बोलता है? फील ashamed। ऐसे नेता है हमारे भारत में। What a shame for our country। जबकि सबसे ज्यादा आईपीएस आईएएस उस कैडर से, बिहार कैडर और यूपी कैडर से आते, और वहां का एक नेता इस फंबलिंग ऑन द ब्लडी माइक। Isn't it shameful for us to be an Indian who can't speak a proper language? ऐसे नेता हम चुन के देते हैं। हम ना अपनी ये जो सबसे बड़ा यज्ञ डेमोक्रेसी का है, इलेक्शन, उसमें when we as youngsters have learned to make money, we should be the agents in creating that it should be conducted fair, और लोग पैसा लेना बंद कर दें। जिस वक्त भारत का हर एक नागरिक अपना वोट बेचना बंद कर देगा, तभी हम अपने करप्शन के बारे में हकीकत में बात कर सकते हैं, ब्लैक मनी के बारे में हकीकत में बात कर सकते हैं, हम चेंज के बारे में हकीकत में बात कर सकते हैं। जब एक वोट, एक बिरयानी और एक बियर के बोतल पे जो बिकना बंद हो जाएगा, तब सही रूप में हम भारत को आगे लेके जा सकते हैं। थैंक यू। जय श्री महाकाल। धन्यवाद सर जी। स्टैंडिंग ओवेशन। थैंक यू मैम, थैंक यू सो मच। Thank you so much. Please be seated. After ma'am's speech, मेरा कुछ बोलना छोटा वो बड़ी बात हो जाएगी. So I will just silence, please. The program is still on. I would just like to say thank you to Laxmi ma'am with a few words of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. These words bring out the femininity and the womanhood in every person. Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, "Bhand jamiye, bhand nime, bhand mangan vyahan, bhando hove dosti, bhando chale rahan."
मम खामुखग्रम यस्या प्रियर्थ स्थितिमोद्वहन्ता सा पातु वह पर्वतराज पुत्री। यस्सो पवित्र गुणवीव फनावृकैक यक्षोरुह कुचपटी अति भावभागी तस्यामस्तु तमसामसान सिंहे शंभोस्तनु सुखयतु प्रवृत्तिश्चतुर्थी। श्वेतार्थ कर्मण कुच मंडन पत्र भंग शंशोषि दक्षिणकराङ्गुलिभस्मरेणु स्त्रीपुण्यपुंसकपदव्यतिनदिनङ्गिनीव शम्भोस्तनु सुखयतु प्रगतिश्चतुर्थी।
And second prize goes to Sarvesh Dubel and the second semester.
Please, I request everybody, please maintain silence. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
It is so Mrs. Gardner, darling. Like your name. Your one smile is enough to create a spring in the whole campus. Like your name, and thank you for getting me here. And this amount of love. We always say we meet people, I really believe that I meet people in this lifetime. I would have been associated in some work. And I'm glad that I met all of you. It is reuniting of our souls together. And thank you, darling, I love you. Your question, Catherine. Yeah, I know it. So this was a very big debate with the Christians. So I said one line of knowledge. That I said, I don't know how many Christians who know this. Among the 10 people who accepted Christ first was one transgender woman from the Ethiopian palace who accepted Christ first. Among only 10 people in the world who accepted first Christ after the disciples. Yeah, so one was, that's why we are higher than the sons and the daughters. Well, God, we kya yo hai na?
Thank you so much, Dean ma'am. Please, can I have you here for the vote of thanks? Dean ma'am, can I have you? Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Firstly, मैंने नहीं बोला क्योंकि my spokespeople are the students who are sitting here, and the kind of questions and the passion you showed here was absolutely amazing. And I'm proud that I could get ma'am here in front of all of you. So, big round of applause for yourself. Today you've enlightened us in a way which we can never forget. and everybody here will be taking back something from this event. And I thank the entire organizing team, all the students who were present with the Nukkad Natak, all the organizers, the musicians, the students who asked questions, especially Dr. Gardner, and each one of the faculty members who made this happen. Thank you very much. Dr. Nehru, who's been the person behind the university, who's been a constant support to the Department of Law. Thank you, ma'am, for giving your 100% to the university and to the Department of Law. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Right? We're feeling like it should still go on, and I think beginning of a long association. I just want. I feel today when we are here, it is a divine plan. All of us who are here for a purpose. And I'm sure Laxmi ma'am has moved us all emotionally. She was so very frank about herself. She was so very frank about her life. And she was also very frank to say that we as budding lawyers or legal professionals have some responsibility towards the society. And I want to urge what she has said, that is what I also feel very strongly, that all our laws are made during British time. And it is high time that we need to decolonize those laws. Because some of these laws, or I say many of these laws, does not fit into our Indian culture. Yes, I come from a Arya Samaji background. I'm married and Anglo, and I'm telling you, yesterday we had a talk. He kept on telling me, Bible के हिसाब से ये सही नहीं है, and I was telling him, Bible है, but we have to accept people as people.
Trying to reconcile in the Old Testament. Everything is mentioned over there.
Yeah, that is, so it is also a time when we need to talk about, we need to bring people to understand what are the issues. We are not even ready to understand the issues. That is the one big thing. Another thing, can I have please? As I said, laws, like if you see criminal laws, we talk a lot about the rights of the accused. Every section I can talk where we talk about the right of the accused, but we never talk about the rights of the victims. At times we don't even identify the victims. See, I also want you to understand, you go back to Indian system where duties were emphasized. Even today you will see this is there imbibed in you and me. You are a teacher, you are not supposed to be partial. How can you as a teacher be partial? Why? Because you are looking for a duty from a teacher. We are asking duties, but in law we are not recognizing duties. Now we have introduced in the constitution the duties, but these duties are not enforceable. Fundamental rights are enforceable, duties are not fundamental. They are not enforceable. So if you send your child to school, fine. If you don't send your child to school, there is no imprisonment for it. So somewhere we need to get up, and I would say whether you are here, whether you are anywhere, we really need to do a lot of research. We really need to look into the laws. And we don't need to only study the laws. अच्छा ये laws है, मैंने पढ़ लिया, ये precedent है, ये मैंने पढ़ लिया, और I'm going to use that and I'm going to argue that. No. Let us go into our roots and find out what the law should be and what changes we need in the society. and be the change that you want to see. So let us, each one of us, be the change. And I would just like to share with you that we have some 9 centers of research. And a lot of research and a lot of these activities are conducted by different centers. And I'm telling you, yesterday I was so emotionally moved. We have a WhatsApp group where everybody was asking, what am I supposed to do? Is there something that is left to be done? Do you need any help? And I was feeling that culture of inclusiveness, the culture of everybody is happy when the event of other center is doing well. And everybody is helping each other in their centers. There's hardly any competition, which is very rare to find. So I really thank all my faculties and all my students who have really worked hard on this event, all the events that we have been conducting. Just I would share one. You have really moved everybody emotionally, and this has not been here. Yesterday I shared the event on the Facebook, and a girl I taught 25 years ago, she's telling me, I worked in Maharashtra for 20 years, and she is in Ulhasnagar, and she writes to me that when my baby girl was born, you had been to Ulhasnagar for a Ganesh Utsav, and you took her baby and blessed her. So she said, I feel so connected to her and I feel so nice. It's so nice she's coming to your college. That is what she's put up on the Facebook also. So I do feel it is at the end of the day, we're not going to take anything. It is a legacy that we leave. And I hope she has touched all of us, our souls, to be better persons, and I hope we will be able to contribute meaningfully to the society. I thank each one of you, Dhruv sir, Laxmi ma'am, Renu ma'am, Neelu ma'am, Subhas sir, Varya sir, and all the guests whom we just invited and they have joined us. And I really firmly believe that this was a divine intervention that today we are here, and I hope we take the things further. Thanks a lot and have a very good day. Can we write?